All right, so let me kind of scan through the photos you sent me and see what we have left here. Did that one. Yes, I kind of remember doing that one, so that one's been done. Huh. Yeah, we did that one. And we did that one. I definitely did that one. Here's one. We haven't done this one yet. It's problem number 1. And this one is saying find the area of the region. So we need to find this area right here. We need to find what that area is. And here's how you're going to do it. I'm going to kind of show you the thought process behind doing it, and then we'll actually go ahead and do it. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to, and again, I'm just going to show you the whole process behind how I'm going to solve it, then I'll actually solve it. What I'm going to do is I am going to find this area right here. And notice it's going between these 2 points. Okay? That blue right there is between these 2 points. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to find this area right here. I'm going to find that area that's underneath that straight line. Okay, I'm going to find that whole area. And then from that, I am going to subtract this area right here that's underneath the curved line. Because when I do that, look what I get. If I take all of that area that's underneath the straight line and I subtract the area that's underneath my curved line, look what I'm left with. I'm left with this area right here that I'm looking for. So that's kind of the thought process behind what I'm going to do, and now I am going to do it. Okay, so let's see. First thing, I'm going to find that area underneath the straight line. Well, the straight line is this function right here. Okay, 6x plus 25, that's the straight line. And I'm going to find the area underneath that from -4 to +4. That's my interval, going from, I believe that's a -4. Let me see. Oh boy. Yeah. Because I think that's the -5. Yeah, that's the -5. So I'm going from -4 to +4. And I'm going to find the area underneath that straight line. And to do that, I have to use definite integrals. So the first thing I'm going to do, well, I'm going to zoom in so I have some room to write here. I'm going to find the integral of this, the integral of my linear function. And I'm just going to use the power property. So the power property, and I'm going to do the power property on both terms. If you don't see an exponent, there's a 1 here. Power property says I can add a 1 to that exponent, and then I can divide by whatever that new exponent is. Well, 1 plus 1 is 2, so my new exponent is 2, and I'll be dividing that by a 2. So when I take the integral of my linear, I'm going to have 6x squared divided by 2. That's what I just did. I added a 1 to my exponent, which gave me a 2. Then I divide by my new exponent, which is a 2. So that's my first term. And then I have to take the integral of 25. Integral of 25, you just have a number. It's going to be 25x. You just add x to it. Now, I'm finding definite integrals. Definite integrals are the areas under the curve. Okay? If I was finding the indefinite integral, I would put a plus c. But these are not indefinite integrals. These are definite integrals where I'm finding the area. When you're finding the area under a curve, you don't have to put the plus c. And you'll see why here in a second, but I don't have to do that. So I'm not going to put the plus c. So that is the integral of my linear function. That's the integral of my linear function, and I need to evaluate it. That's what this line means. It means evaluate it from -4 to +4. Okay? So again, I just found the integral of my linear, which is this right here, and I'm evaluating it from -4 to 4. And to do this, when you want to find the area under a curve, what you do is you start with your upper limit, this 4, and you plug it into your x's. Okay, I'm going to take my upper limit and I'm going to plug it into these x's right here. Okay, and when I do that, I'm going to get 6 times 4 squared divided by 2 plus 25 times 4. And then what I do is I subtract. We always subtract. And I plug in the lower limit. So I'm going to take this -4. I'm going to put it here and here. So I'm going to subtract. And it's going to be 6 times -4 squared divided by 2 plus 25 times -4. And when I figure out what this equals to, this whole thing right here, that's going to be the area, this area right here. It's going to be that area under my linear function. And you got to be careful here because that's a lot of stuff to be plugging into the calculator. And we want to make sure we get the right answer because it's a lot of steps. You don't want to mess up plugging it into the calculator. So you go ahead and plug that into the calculator. And you make sure that you get the same answer that I'm getting when I work this out. So let's see. I'm going to do it by hand. You go ahead and put it in the calculator if you want. 3 times 16 plus 100. So that's going to be 148. That's going to be 148 minus, again, I'm just doing it by hand. You can go ahead and plug this whole thing into the calculator. 148 minus 6. Well, that's going to actually be a 3 times 16. That's going to be a 48. Minus 100. That's going to be 148 plus 52, which is going to be 200. So if you put this whole thing into the calculator, you should get 200. That's this area. Everything under that linear function, that's going to be a 200. So this equals that whole area. I'll just put it off to the side to remind me. The area under my linear function is 200. I'm going to go ahead and erase that so I have room to do the same thing with that function. All right, so I'm going to erase everything I just did. And then I'm going to figure out what's the area underneath my curved line, or underneath my quadratic. So we're looking at this function right here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to figure out what is the integral of this, which means I need to find the integral of all three terms. And I can just use the power property. So x squared, the power property with integration is adding a 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. And then divide by that 3. So it's going to be x cubed divided by 3. Again, just the power property. I added a 1 to the 2. And then I divide by that new exponent. Plus, and I'm going to do the same thing with 6x. If you don't see an exponent, there's a 1 right there. I'm going to add 1 to it. That's going to be a 2, so it's going to be 6x squared. And then you divide by your new exponent, which is a 2, so divide by 2. And I can actually simplify that right now. 6 divided by 2 is 3. I didn't do that in the last problem, but I could have. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. So this goes down to 3x squared. And I'm going to make that change right now. So that's actually going to be 3x squared, which is 6x squared divided by 2. It's 3x squared. Plus, and then right here, I get this 9. Integral of that is going to be 9x. And that's the integral of that. And I'm going to evaluate it from -4 to 4. Same thing as the last problem. I'm going to evaluate from -4 to 4. And this one I think is going to be a little bit more work, so we've got to be careful. But it's going to be the same process. I'm going to take this 4, and I'm going to plug it into all of my x's. Okay, that's the first step. Take that upper limit and plug it in to all of your x's. So I'm going to do that. I'll write it out first. It's going to be 4 cubed divided by 3 plus 3 times 4 squared plus 9 times 4. Okay? And then I'm going to subtract, because we always subtract when we're doing this. And then I'm going to plug in my lower limit. So I'm going to put this -4 right here, and right here. So let me go ahead and do that. It's going to be -4 cubed divided by 3 plus 3 times -4 squared plus 9 times -4. Let me double check. Always double check, because if you make a mistake, it's gonna, well, you're gonna waste a lot of time, because quite a few steps here. Let me just make sure I plugged everything in right. Yeah, that looks good. All right. So if you want to, you can go ahead and plug that into the calculator. See what you get. That's probably what I should do also, because this is a lot of work. And if I do it by hand, I bet you I'm going to make a mistake. But I'm going to simplify a few things before I put it into the calculator. But if you want to, you can just go ahead and plug that whole thing into the calculator right now. See if you get what I get. Hopefully you do, because that means we did it right. So 4 cubed is going to be 64. That's going to be 64 divided by 3 plus 4 squared, 16 times 3, that's 48. Plus 36. And then I'm going to subtract this whole thing right here. -4 cubed is -64 divided by 3 plus -4 squared is 16 times 3 is 48. And then I got 9 times -4, which is a -36. So I'll just go -36. And I'll keep on simplifying it before I put it in the calculator. I don't like to punch a bunch of stuff into the calculator. I'll keep simplifying it. 64, then I got 48 plus 36. That's going to be 70, 76, 84. I'm going to go ahead and minus. Negative 64 divided by 3. Well, that's a decimal, so I won't go ahead and do that. Plus, and 48 minus 36, that's going to be 12. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that into the calculator. I just simplified it. You could have just put this whole thing into the calculator. Let's see what I get here. We're almost there. I know it's quite a few steps. A little bit tedious. Let's see what we get. That'd be 64 divided by 3. I'm going to my calculator. I'm going to punch that all in. Plus 84 minus, gotta be careful here, minus negative 64 divided by 3 plus 12. And hold on a second. I already put something in wrong. Let me do this. I am getting 114.66667. So I am getting 114.66667. That's this area right here. That's 114.6667. So I'll go ahead and write that down so I don't forget it. 114.66667. And it keeps on going on forever. 66666666667. Whenever you see a repeating 6, it's actually 2/3. So you could also write this as 114 and 2/3. That's what 0.6666666 is. It's 2/3. And then all you do is you take this, which is that green, all of that, and you subtract out this, which is your pink, and you're going to be left with that area right there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to my calculator. I'm going to go ahead and put 200 minus 114.6666667. I'm getting 80. 6 by 3. Hold on one second. 6 by 3. So I'm getting 85.33333. And of course, the 3's go on forever. And whenever you see 3's going on forever, it's 1/3. So the answer, and it doesn't tell you if it wants a fraction or if it wants a decimal. If it wants a decimal, it's going to be 85.333 going on forever. But it doesn't tell you where to round the decimal at. So you could also write it as 85 and 1/3. It doesn't tell you what format it wants the answer in. So that's something you'll have to kind of see if the instructor said anything about what to put in there. But this would be the decimal answer. You would have to round it because that 3 goes on forever. It's wherever the instructor told you to round it at, because the directions don't tell you. Or if you're able to put it in as a fraction, you could put that in right there. Either one is going to be fine. I mean, either one's the answer. Which one you're going to put in depends on what the instructor told you. But that would be that blue area right there. All right, and that's how you do that one. I'm going to go ahead and stop this video, and I will start making some more videos in just a minute.